Hey there everyone, welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Today is Friday, April 27th, 2012. And just yesterday, the powers that be have achieved another milestone in their vision for a Big Brother Orwellian nightmare, as the controversial CISPA bill has just been passed. This is the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act. And basically this is the bill that would allow the government to not only monitor all of your online activity and to keep track of the websites that you are visiting, but it will also give them the ability to track your emails and your text messages. And they can even intercept these messages and not allow them to reach their destination, or alter these messages before they reach their destination if they deem that they constitute a security threat. And the problem is that their definition of what a security threat is so broad, it can pretty much be anything. So this thing was just whisked through yesterday, but before it was passed, there were some very interesting amendments that were made to it that in fact make this thing far, far worse. Here's an article that just came out recently from TechDirt. I'll put a link in the description. Previously, CISPA allowed the government to use information for cybersecurity or national security purposes. Those purposes have not been limited or removed. Instead, 3 more valid uses have been added: investigation and protection of cybersecurity crime, protection of individuals, and protection of children. And for us Canadians, this may sound familiar, where just recently we had our own public safety minister, Vic Taves, who announced Bill C-30 and called it the Protecting Children from Internet Predators Act. And obviously this is a cheap trick designed to make it so that you can say, well, you want to protect the children, don't you? Meanwhile, we know this is all about suppressing the freedom of speech online. So we'll continue here. Basically, this means CISPA can no longer be called a cybersecurity bill at all. The government would be able to search information it collects under CISPA for the purposes of investigating American citizens with complete immunity from all privacy protections, as long as they can claim that someone committed a cybersecurity crime. And now this completely abolishes the Fourth Amendment in America, which protects Americans from unreasonable search and seizure. I suppose that just simply doesn't apply to your online life anymore. Moreover, the government could do whatever it wants with the data, as long as it can claim that someone was in danger of bodily harm, or that children were somehow threatened. Again, notwithstanding absolutely any other law that would normally limit the government's power. Somehow, incredibly, this was described as limiting CISPA, but it accomplishes the exact opposite, and this is very, very bad. And indeed, this is very bad. I'm sure many of you will recall it wasn't that long ago that we saw the introduction of SOPA and PIPA, the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protecting Intellectual Property Act, which outraged the online community. And basically people saw it for what it is, for what it was. We all band together and organized boycotts, organized blackouts, had petitions signed, and this basically raised so much awareness about the issue that the bills were essentially shelved. But the government, pulling their dirty tricks as they often do, just rebranded this thing, renamed it, and has now introduced it just recently, and this thing was passed yesterday. Now, it only passed the House of Representatives, which means it's on its way to the Senate, where it will have to be voted on once again. And even if it passes that stage, then the President, Barack Obama, would be able to either sign off on this thing or veto this bill. And he originally said that he's not in favor of the bill. However, he said the same thing about the National Defense Authorization Act, said he wasn't in favor of that. This, of course, is the one that allows the government to detain American citizens indefinitely without trial. And so he said he was against that, but he ended up signing off on that one. So we can expect something similar from the president on this new CISPA Act. Now, again, we were successful in raising enough awareness to make sure that this thing would not pass the Senate originally. So we're at that time again where it is that crucial time where we have to raise awareness about this current bill before it's too late. So I'll put in the description a link to a petition that you can sign that is currently getting a lot of signatures. So this is a good one to check out. And I'll also include a list of a lot of companies that are supporting the CISPA bill. This list I've come across has around 800 companies listed on it that are all in favor of this thing. So it's good to take notice of some of the corporations and companies that are for this thing, so that you can organize boycotts against them in an effort to raise enough awareness so that this thing can be stopped before it gets too late. Because as we all know, this really has nothing to do with protecting copyrighted material or intellectual property. It's purely about suppressing the freedom of speech online and just blocking the free flow of information. This, as I said in the beginning, is an Orwellian nightmare that's unfolding right before our very eyes. If this thing actually successfully gets signed off on, you can kiss your internet freedoms goodbye, and all of your privacy online will be no more. So this is crucial, guys, that we get the word out about this one right away. So if you can share this video, spread the word, sign the petition, and let's just do everything we can at this point to protect the free flow of information on the internet and keep this thing wide open so that we can continue to expose the globalists for their evil, wicked agendas that they are trying to unleash upon the world. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I'll see everybody back here on Monday at pressfortruth.tv.